Hey guys, Laura here with STP, and I'm really excited for this video today because a lot of you have been lamenting about how difficult Module 2 is on the English sections of the Digital SAT, and I tend to agree. So I decided to do a walkthrough from BlueBook Practice Test 1, and I will continue to do walkthroughs as we go for the other tests as well. But I've chose 10 challenging problems from this test, so you'll notice I jump around a little bit. If you want the full walkthrough experience for Module 1 and 2 of Practice Test 1, make sure you enroll in my Digital SAT self-paced course. I will link that up here right now. Check that out. You can use a promo code 50OFF to get $50 off at checkout. But yeah, let's get into the video. All right, before I get into the questions, guys, this video is brought to you by Preply, the digital SAT prep app that's available in the App Store and in Google Play. You can prep on the go whenever you want, wherever you want, from your mobile device, and now from your iPads as well. So if you guys need more questions to prep from for the Digital SAT, Preply has hundreds of exclusive questions in both the English and the math to take your prep to the next level. So go ahead and download that today. All right, guys, when you watch this video, you're gonna see insight into my head and how I work through these questions. I might mention some rules and things. If I seem to be going too fast when I talk about rules and strategies, it's because they're outlined in the self-paced course. But I hope you enjoy. All right, guys, now we're doing a walkthrough of Module 2 and Practice Test 1. You know, I'm just gonna start at the beginning and work through this time, but I would recommend you start at 15 again. It's really up to you and your comfort level. Let's see, he portrays blank the natural world by honoring the centrality of nature within his tribe's traditional beliefs while simultaneously expressing his distaste. So he's honoring something while simultaneously expressing distaste. That's ambivalence. You've got opposing like feelings on something. Ambi means both, by the way. That's a prefix that means both. The next one is intersect because it challenges that view. It says that the work can be seen in the Met and purchased in her online boutique. So, you know, fine art and fashion can intersect. Diverge would mean they're going in different directions. So that doesn't support the answer. Diverge is like, think of it like the DI in front of the word, like to divide. That's like moving away from, not coming together like inter. Okay, next one. So we have, it fails to account for several recent archaeological discoveries. That means we want a negative word. Nuanced isn't negative. Failing to account for something doesn't mean it's unoriginal. Disorienting is like when you can't get your bearings and you don't know what's going on and you're confused. So the only one you're left with is tenuous, which sounds negative and must mean failing to account for something. All right, if you are liking this video so far, make sure to hit the thumbs up button below and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, because I come out with helpful videos to help you prep for the SAT so you can get the score you want. All right, now we're gonna get into how does Lord Chancellor respond to the crowd? He says, "What can it all mean?" He kept repeating himself. "I never heard such shouting before. And at this time of the morning too, and with such unanimity." Now, since he says that it's with unanimity, that basically is a synonym for being united. Unanimous means you come together and you all agree on something. So he thinks that the crowd is united. Well, we know that the crowd appears otherwise because some shouted bread, some shouted taxes. So the answer is D. Okay, so now we're gonna look at this next one. And it says, what would most directly support the student's claim? So I want to find the student's claim. It says, a student claims that Chamby's photographs have considerable ethnographic value. In his work, Chamby was able to capture diverse elements of Peruvian society. So I want to find an answer choice that supports that. And A supports that because it says he took pictures of wealthy Peruvians, but also documented indigenous communities in the Andes as well. So that kind of demonstrates the diversity. We're not talking about diverse elements of Peruvian society when we talk about light and shadow. we're not talking about other countries, we're talking about Peruvian society, so C is out. And we're also not really talking about the people and places he photographed have been popular subjects for Peruvian photographers. That is irrelevant. That doesn't tell us anything about the diversity. All right, guys, do you feel like you need to up your English score? Is it struggling on the digital SAT? Does your math make your English score look bad? Then I would definitely recommend you sign up for my online digital SAT English self-paced course. There are modules that take you through every different type of question on the test, from craft and structure to information and ideas, standard English conventions and expression of ideas. And I give you useful, efficient, effective strategies for tackling each specific type of question in each category. It comes with a 200-page workbook designed by yours truly, and it also features exclusive videos that aren't available on YouTube for your viewing pleasure. There are also extra resources in there aside from the College Board and Khan Academy ones that you can access for free. So go ahead and sign up for that today, and you can actually access a full walkthrough of Practice Test 1 from BlueBook. So I will link it up here right now. Since you are a loyal YouTube follower, if you put in the promo 50 off at checkout, you will get $50 off the enrollment of the course. I hope you enjoy it. All right, guys, this count nose raised question is pretty confusing. As you can see, I already had some annotations on here from working it out. But here's the thing at the end of the day, okay? If you have dusky sharks, we'll call it DS for dusky sharks, and their population is going down because the oysters are going down, and they have no relation to each other, the only thing that could happen is those cow nose rays are going up. Because if the dusky sharks are going down, they're not eating the cow nose rays, so their population's increasing, which is they're eating the oysters, and that's making the oysters go down. So that's why the answer to that one is actually D. The next one, we need to figure out what kind of punctuation mark possibly we need there. So first, I want to see if it's a complete sentence up to food, because maybe then we need a colon. So researchers studying magnetosensation have determined why some soil-dwelling roundworms in the southern hemisphere move in the opposite direction of Earth's magnetic field when searching for food. Ooh, that's a complete sentence. Are they explaining more about that after? In the northern hemisphere, the magnetic field points down into the ground, but in the southern hemisphere, it points up toward the surface and away from the worm's food sources. Also a complete sentence. We need to have a colon, especially since this part is explaining more about the statement made in the first part. All right, guys, hopefully you're finding this walkthrough helpful so far. I want to hear from you. What do you think is the hardest type of question to do on the digital SAT English sections? Comment below and let me know. Researchers studying the Terracotta Army, the thousands of life-size statues of warriors found interred near the tomb of Emperor Qin Shi Huang of China, were shocked to realize that the shape of each statue's ears, like the shape of each person's ears, is unique because it's the shape. So of each statue's ears, like the shape of each person's ears, that is all stuff that you can just get rid of. It's unfortunate that you can't cross it off with the annotation tool, but we need the shape is unique. Also, too, guys, look at your answer choices. Are, were, and have been are all plural tenses. Usually, if it's a subject-verb agreement question, it's going to be the only singular tense available. Is the only one that's singular. All right, let's try to figure out where we have a complete sentence. Do we have a complete sentence at the end of between equations and then the next sentence before we put the transition word in? Let's find out. We've got Hopper's subsequent career would involve more than just equations. That's a complete sentence. I could put a period there. Then we have, as a pioneering computer programmer, Hopper would help usher in the digital age. Also a complete sentence. So we can't have a comma separating two complete sentences. It's going to be A or C. And it's all going to come down to where the contrast word needs to be. Though is a contrast transition. Do we put it at the end of the sentence with the blank, or do we put it at the beginning of the next sentence? If we put it at the beginning of the third sentence, like answer choice C has it, that would mean that these two sentences are contrasting each other. So are they? If Hopper's subsequent career would involve more than just equations, as a pioneering computer programmer, Hopper will help usher in the digital age.
this supports what they just said. It tells us why it's more than just equations. So these two do not contrast each other. So the contrast must occur with the first and the second sentence. So we'll put the contrast word at the end of the second sentence. Let's see, we have some members of the U.S. Supreme Court have resisted calls to televise the court's oral arguments, concerned that the participants would be tempted to perform for the cameras. Okay, so I'm going to sum that up in my own words. The U.S. Supreme Court doesn't want cameras in the room because they think people are going to be inauthentic and not themselves if they know they're being filmed. It says, the justices worry that most viewers would not even watch the full deliberations, only short clips that could be misinterpreted and mischaracterized. This sounds like a separate worry. They're also worried that people aren't going to watch the whole thing anyways, and then they're going to take things out of context and misconstrue the whole proceeding, so then people are going to think something happened that really didn't. Because they're talking about two different worries that the U.S. Supreme Court has about recording in the courtroom, we need a support additionally.
All right, guys, so that concludes the 10 questions I hand selected from BlueBook Practice Test 1, Module 2. I hope you found that helpful and it gave you some insight into why the right answers were right. And just a heads up, we also have tutors, so you could take the online self-paced course, or if you want to work with someone one-on-one on my team who scores a 1500 plus on their SAT, then definitely reach out to us and let us know, and we can get you set up with someone who would be such a good match for you. I'll link up here a form, fill that out, and we will contact you soon. All right, guys, until next time, thank you so much for watching this video. Happy prepping.